Hello, Taurus, and welcome to your reading for the weeks covering May 7 through 2024. This is a reading if you are Taurus Sun, Taurus Moon, Taurus Rising, or have another significant Taurus placement in your chart. If you're new to this channel, welcome. It's good to have you. And if you're returning, welcome back. This is a full horoscope spread that I'm doing based on the 12 houses of astrology. The main decks I use are Murray Hope's Way of Cartouche, and then I will clarify with the Aleister Crowley Thoth deck. Is the deck that I'm going to use to clarify this week. And our extra deck for oracle card readings is the Between Worlds Oracle. So if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you choose, and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. I also have some links in the description below to my website. I have I'm actually going to have a brand new website, but if you've been looking at old videos in the old website will now forward to the new one. And also my social media. You will also see that new videos are being uploaded here for my daily morning coffee with Breach that I'm doing as an Instagram live stream from 6:30 to 7 every morning. So join me for that if you would like. Otherwise, the videos will be here on YouTube. And that's where I'm going to be discussing questions people have had for me, and then certain elements of my coaching practice and certain things that I do, ideas with regard to dream analysis, dealing with timing. These are some of the topics I've covered so far. And just other things with respect to trying to move from a stuck situation into an unstuck situation. So anyway, they're definitely expanding this channel a bit. So yeah, so if any of that stuff interests you, I do have links in the description below, and there will be more videos coming out on those subjects. Okay, so this house, as I mentioned, is based on the 12 houses of astrology. So I'm going to interpret the cards with respect to the house position, what it means, and then I'm going to tell you what the cards mean in that position. It's a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. First house is Aries energy. So Aries is about your personality, how you present yourself to the world, how you express yourself. And okay, so we're starting with Seth right off. Now, when Seth comes up, this generally means that there is a problem. And in the first house, okay, there's always two possibilities with this. When I'm reading for someone, like sometimes if I'm asked to do group readings or something like that, if this card comes up in the first position, I have somebody who does not want me to read them, okay? It's literally saying, I don't want you to see me, bugger off, maybe their friends have talked them into doing it or something, and they don't, whether they're scared or whether they're skeptical, whatever it is. Sometimes this comes up. However, the other meaning, that's obviously not the case here, as we're doing a general reading. But Seth comes up here. This indicates that the troubles and difficulties that you're having are something that are connected to you. This is, and I don't like to put it this way because I don't mean to sound, crappy, but sometimes this comes up when it's saying you're making your own problems. Okay. And again, I'm actually hoping that that's good news, because sometimes when we look and we feel like the world's out to get us, it's just like, nah, this just is some aspect of your identity that's in crisis, but that means the solution to the problem is also in your hands. So that's the good news. We have it with Sirius. So Sirius, yeah, there's definitely this idea of taking the rough with the smooth. Maybe there's been some endurance that's involved with something. Now we have it with the Prince of Wands, which is a bit like the King of Wands in regular decks. And the Prince of Wands here, this is somebody who's determined to get what they want. I mean, a lot of Mars has moved into Aries, so there's a lot of fire energy here. So I feel like maybe you are really like charging into something, like you are just ready to take things on. But I don't know. There may be something here. I don't know. There seems to me to be some blocks and frustration here. Like there's a lot of taking the rough with the smooth. Maybe you're running into some bumps in the road. And you're determined to make a whole new start, but it does seem like there's still some blocks, but it is saying these blocks are internal and not external. So there may be some areas here, maybe we'll see throughout the reading, where maybe you need to reflect and see what you might be hanging on to, or how you may be viewing something, or maybe even viewing yourself, that maybe is not allowing you to fully come into this fire energy. Fire also can go both ways. I mean, fire energy can make us ambitious and ready to go, and fire can also make us irritable and angry and short-tempered, and so I don't know. There's definitely an energy here of where there's a lot of energy being expanded. There's a lot of work to be done. Sirius, though, can also indicate that maybe you are you're stuck in a certain way of thinking or looking at something, and it can indicate that you need to think more broadly about something. Like maybe things that are happening right now are meant to, you're hitting certain roadblocks because it's trying to make you look at something a different way. Second house is Taurus energy. It's your own. This is a house primarily dealing with finances. Now we have Ace of Swords with air. So, okay, definitely messages coming in regarding money. And Ace of Swords seems to indicate new thought or a new beginning. So I feel like there's going to be some kind of change in your financial situation. Again, there could be communications coming in, certain things, networks. Ace of Swords does indicate a new beginning of some kind, and it can bring messages. So I don't know. There seems to be some message that's going to be coming in about money. Something that's going to bring clarity, because the Ace of Swords just cuts through and makes something very, very clear. I feel all aces are good cards, so I don't feel like this is bad news coming in. I do feel like there's going to be a shift or a change in something. So especially if your finances if they've been shaky, or if you've been worried about them lately, this definitely feels like there's going to be something that's going to bring clarity to your situation and is going to bring about a change. But air, of course, is a change that is, it's not a massive transformation, but there's definitely this idea here of movement and change in a positive way, maybe allowing you to detach from the issue a little bit. Because maybe if you've been having difficulties with money, maybe it's going to be clear how that's going to be solved. Let's look at the third house here. That's Gemini. This has to do with messages, communications, self-employment. Can have to do with, sibling relationships. So brother-sister relationships, if that applies. And sometimes also with short-distance travel. So again, take which aspect makes sense for you here. We have Scarab with the 9 of Discs. So yeah, this seems to be like a new beginning that's going to bring lots of money in, like financial independence. So this is good. If you're making a change to your business right now, then it's definitely going to be something that's going to be lucrative, which is good. It's going to be something you're doing on your own here, because 10s are more about being involved with the community. 9s are more something that you're doing yourself. Okay, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean a community won't be involved, but it's going to be about you establishing this kind of financial independence. This is a card of gain in this deck, right? So yeah, so I feel like there's changes that are being made that are going to bring about that kind of change. Now it's interesting. If you're not in your own business, okay, then this could just be. Remember, we saw all these messages over here in the second house connected to money. Once again, we're seeing changes, messages bringing change regarding money. So yeah, very clearly, Taurus, there are messages coming in about money. And whatever they are, there's definitely something to be gained here. So that all looks very, very good. I don't know. And again, we'll see elsewhere where that change might be coming in, like where that money might be coming from, if it's made clear here. But we'll progress and see what we get. Okay, fourth house. This is Cancer energy. This is your home, your family, your sense of ancestry, your sense of being at home. It can also have to do with the mother. Okay, so we have Sphinx with the Hanged Man. So these are both cards of waiting, okay? There's something connected to your home situation. If you've been thinking about moving or relocating, this would be saying right now is a time to wait. There's something you're waiting. You're like in a waiting game here. You're waiting for something to happen. Now you have the number 3. 2 plus 1 here is 3, and this is card 12. So there's 12 and 21, they're kind of opposite here, and they both add up to the number 3. So 3 is the card of the Empress. So maybe there's something connected to your mother. I don't know. That's possible because this is the house of the mother. But this could have to do either with a family situation or with something connected to your home. But you are right now playing a waiting game, and all you can do right now, it's basically saying wait and see what happens in a particular situation. Hanged Man can also be like what we have here with Sirius in the first house. Maybe there's a situation that you need to look at differently. Okay, but I can't help but feel with the two of these cards together, there's just something that maybe you want to see change or you want to move ahead, and it's saying you just have to wait right now. So very interesting. Fifth house, this is Leo energy. So this it can have to do with recognition, creativity, children, love affairs, sometimes recreation and sport for certain people. Okay, so we have Anubis with the Ace of Discs. Okay, this is our second ace. In fact, I'm looking ahead. We have 3 aces here, so there's definitely new beginnings coming in. So this could be a new creative project. Something, again, aces are connected to money. So maybe there's something you're doing creatively that's going to be a new source of income potentially, or bring some kind of security. This could, again, if this has to do with a love affair, it is possible that we are seeing a new situation coming in with somebody. So that is entirely possible, or just something where there is a new beginning. Now we have it with Anubis. So Anubis is a card of protection. Okay, this could be somebody with, if this is about a love affair, somebody you want to be involved with. Maybe this is somebody who's been setting up boundaries or establishing boundaries, or maybe it's somebody who's getting ready to take a trip, because sometimes Anubis has to do with travel. But and if this does have to do with creative projects or maybe even children, again, there may be this sense of protectiveness around something, trying to protect something. Maybe there's creative works that you're, maybe you need to trademark or need to do something where you protect your copyright on something. That might be a possibility here. And with the Ace of Discs, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I tend to feel more like this has to do more with a creative project or something you're doing or being recognized for, where, there may be some new financial component that's going to necessitate you protecting yourself or protecting your boundaries. I don't know. Take that as it resonates here. If it had to do with love, I mean, again, there is the possibility that there's something that's in its infancy right now, something that's growing. But there may be people who are still setting up walls and creating boundaries, so there may be a need for careful communication with somebody, okay? Okay, 6th house, Virgo energy. Virgo is health and healing. It has to do with jobs in terms of a 9-to-5 job, and it has to do with potentially also with worry and anxiety. Sometimes it has to do with pets. Okay, so we have fire with the 5 of discs. Okay. So fire indicates strong energy to either resolve something or to, fire is about being inspired in some way. And with the 5 of discs, okay, what I kind of get is that, yeah, it's an inspiration to eradicate poverty in your life, okay? You may be looking at jobs maybe right now, although I feel like this is saying that, like if you are somebody who's self-employed, I feel like this is saying a job may not be the way to financial security. I just feel like there is, or maybe there's a job that's no longer going to provide financial security. So maybe there's a sense of you need to be inspired to figure out what the next thing is you're going to do. Yeah, there's definitely, I mean, you've got the Prince of Wands here in the 1st house. You've got all this ace energy. You've got all this other pentacle energy. So I don't know. This could also be worries about money. This is the worry card in the worry house. So maybe you are worried about finances, but this seems to be indicating that whatever you're doing right now is going to, you're going to find a way to resolve the problem. Now that's interesting because now I'm looking at this up here in the 1st house. Now as a Taurus, you are by nature somebody who worries about security. You worry about money. You worry about finances. You're the one who's looking ahead with the 5-year plan with money. I mean, that's the type of person that you are. And the fact that there's all this fire energy connected with this, and also this news coming up and all these changes regarding money, and the fact that this is showing up in the worry card and the worry about money card in your worry house, this tells me that money has been a worry. I don't think it's going to be an issue, and I think the problem is more your attitude towards money, or your fears about not having enough, or fears of having to struggle, or the way in which things. Sirius again is taking the rough with the smooth, but it's the amount of work that you have to put into something. But you are definitely, there's definitely a lot of inspiration here. Like the Mars and Aries energy that's going on right now is really going to do a lot for you. And again, if money is your worry, there's some news coming in soon that's going to solve all of it. So, okay, so let's go to the 5th house. The 7th house. This is Libra energy. So this has to do with partnerships, marriages, committed relationships, anything that's usually legal in nature. So it could be business partnerships, could be contracts. Okay, so we have Lotus with the 5 of Cups. So I don't know, some of you potentially, 5 of Cups, it's interesting because Aries got this same thing. Maybe there's a sense of grieving or loss. Maybe there's some past situation that needs to be let go of. Maybe there's a fear of loss in terms of a relationship. I mean, we are seeing this energy over here of somebody protecting themselves. So maybe you're protecting your heart in some ways, setting up certain boundaries. But there's also the need, I think, for you to let go of past situations, patterns, and beliefs about love. That maybe there's, or about something or about some kind of partnership. I feel like this has to do with some kind of serious partnership. I feel like this has more to do with love and love relationships generally, rather than necessarily business here. But the fact that this card is showing up is saying, yeah, there's something where you're still focused on losses or past losses rather than where you are at the present. And of course, with Lotus, you have a situation where it's saying you need to calm the mind and not worry. So this may be another area where you're worried. Maybe you're worried that a relationship is not going to work out. Maybe you're worried that, I don't know, maybe you're worried about some kind of tense situation between you and somebody else. But Lotus is saying, don't worry. Peaceful continuity with something, certainly for right now. If you are married, then it could just be that there may be some situations where either you or your partner need to let go of something from the past and definitely take some time out to sort of calm down. But if things have been tumultuous with your partner, this could indicate a period of things, becoming more peaceful. Okay, 8th house. This is Scorpio energy. This is about transformation. So this is about endings, beginnings, sometimes about joint finances or other people's money. Okay, so we have the 3 of Wands with Isis. Now, the 3 of Wands is a card of manifesting. So, and again, but these are at the beginnings. You have these aces here. I feel like you are at the beginning of manifesting something. And again, it's this fire energy. Something you've started doing recently is definitely getting ready to manifest bear fruit. It may require some patience, though, with Isis here. Isis could also sometimes has strong mother energy connected to it. So whether that means you behaving in a nurturing or compassionate way, and sometimes that's not necessarily to other people, that could also just be to yourself, okay? Especially if you're being really mean to yourself over here in the 1st house. There could be this need for compassion, for opening the heart, but also for patience. So I feel like you are on the road. There may be some collaborations coming up with something you're doing in the near future, and these could be financial potentially, because this is the house of joint finances, but it doesn't have to be. It could be just something where you're going to be working in connection with somebody. And with Isis here, it's just there may be a sense of needing to be patient as you are building the foundations of where it is that you're going here, waiting for your ship to come in here. Okay, 9th house is Sagittarius energy. Sag energy has to do with, it's Jupiter connected, so it's expansion, has to do with education, higher education or educational institutions. It can have to do with faith, so it can have to do with spirituality, whatever religious organization you belong to. If you are religious, they'd be connected to that. And it can also be connected to long distance travel, so anything that takes you far away, anything where you're learning something new, expanding your horizons, or dealing with deeper questions. Okay, so we have the 7 of discs with the buckle of Isis. Okay, 2 double 7 energy here, because 2 and 5 is 7. So, okay. So I feel like you're at a period right now where you are evaluating something. 7 of discs, now they call this the card of failure, but it's not a card of failure. It's a card of looking at what the seeds you've planted and saying, is this going to come to fruition or not? You're reevaluating your position and where you're at. So whether this has to do with education, again, whether this has to do with something in your belief system that you're refiguring and reevaluating, or maybe it does have to do with travel. Maybe this is something you want to do, and maybe, maybe evaluating your position. Maybe your feelings, with this card, I feel like that may be where you're feeling somewhat negative about it right now. But Buckle of Isis would say to me, okay, if this is a card of reevaluation, this is saying that the efforts you are making are going to be rewarded. Now, for some reason, I don't know whether this has to do with long distance travel or going somewhere far away, or whether this literally has to do with something connected to a spiritual or educational organization. I don't know. Maybe some of you are in school. Maybe some of you are taking classes. Maybe you're struggling and maybe saying, hey, is this all worth it? And this is saying yes. Okay, whatever it is that this is referring to, whether this is something that you're trying to build or whether it's something that something that you're trying to finish, it's saying that the effort is going to be worth it. Buckle of Isis says, the work you put in now is going to yield fruit, even if right now maybe you're feeling like, I don't know, I don't know if this is going to do. Maybe if you're skeptically evaluating it, this is saying no. Keep going. The efforts you're making are going to be rewarded. So let's look at the 10th house. This is Capricorn energy. Now, Capricorn is about your career, your fame, reputation, sometimes has to do with father energy. And yeah, we do have Horus here. So Horus is definitely strong family energy here, but it's also strong creative energy, and it's Leo energy. So I feel like you are being seen and appreciated and seen as a leader in something that you're doing, okay? And again, we have our third ace. We have the Ace of Wands. Tons of fire here in you're on fire this week, Taurus. Like whatever you're doing, there is an impassioned new beginning, and this is something that's really going to get you noticed. Perhaps this is where the income's going to come in. Maybe somebody's going to see what you're doing and saying, whoa, I want to invest in that. I want to be a part of that. But there's just something you're doing and you're just on fire lately. So definitely go with it because, yeah, I mean, do remember you're at the beginning. So if everything's not, Taurians, it's funny. Taurians are either, in my experience, either very, very patient or literally just the opposite, extraordinarily impatient, like to an extreme. So I feel like there could be, because there's so much fire behind this and so much intensity, you may be feeling a little impatient about things. But this is just saying, no, you are definitely moving into this new space. Like I seem to recall that your readings over the last few weeks have definitely had this idea of ending. And I actually only see one card connected to endings here, and that's in the 12th house. Everything else seems to indicate like new beginnings. There are a couple places having to do with things that you're worried about, maybe something connected to relationships where there's some past stuff that needs to be let go of, but you are definitely on fire and moving forward here, and you need to keep doing so. Okay. 11th house, this is Aquarian energy, Aquarius. This is friendships, your social networks, perhaps business connections. Can also be about your goals, your destiny. They call this the hopes and wishes house. So if you're going to get a wish, it'll frequently show up in this particular house. You have Urias with the Six of Cups. Okay, so Urias indicates something unexpected coming in. And this could be an unexpected friendship, okay? Or maybe you could learn something about a friend. Maybe with the Six of Cups, this is somebody from the past. So there's definitely a strong past vibe here. But whatever it is, this is something that's unexpected that's coming in. So I don't know, maybe there's going to be a friend or somebody from the past who comes in. Maybe that's the person coming with the message. I don't know. But it does seem like, but I also feel like if this is connected to your hopes and wishes specifically, something's going to take an unexpected turn. And whatever this is, it's going to be something that comes out of the past or a past situation. This also, what I'm also hearing in my head is return to childhood for some people. So, okay, one thing I'm going to say about you, Taurus, there is a type of astrology called heliocentric, and that is sun-centered astrology. So that would be as if you ran your astrological chart from the point of view of standing on the sun. And if you do that, then you will have a quote-unquote earth sign. And your earth sign is going to be the opposite of what your sun sign is. So if you are a Taurus sun, then that means you are a Scorpio earth. And Scorpio earth children are very creative, very imaginative, very, very open. It's just that as life goes on, then people start to tell them that their dreams are silly or they can't do certain things, and then you kind of, you pull away. So I feel almost like something's going to allow you to almost return to childhood here, to that state where you were very open, very creative, and very willing to embrace things that other people say, that's risky or that's silly, or whatever it is that made you feel that you had to put your light under a bushel. I feel like that's going away now, but there could also just be something connected to the past that's going to be surprising you, but in a good way. I feel like, I don't know, something connected here that is going to potentially launch your situation forward is what I'm kind of. I actually did not mean to say that, and that just came out of my mouth, so that's coming from somewhere. Okay, 12th house. This is Pisces energy. Pisces is about what you keep hidden, and also perhaps what you fear. It is the house of imagination, so it's literally everything from sainthood to being, what they would call madness. It can be everything in the 12th house, but I really feel like this is more in these readings. I feel like it has more to do with what you're afraid of, like what you're repressing or not showing to people. Okay, now we have water with the universe. Okay, the universe is like the world card. So yeah, again, there's this idea of ending, but something coming to a successful conclusion and change coming in. Now, why this is showing up in this house, I do feel like, okay, this is the water card showing up in a water house, which is Pisces. to me indicates that your intuition may also be very, very active. Like there's a lot of fire that's presenting, but underneath it all is water, okay? So there is a lot of feelings, there's a lot of emotions, there's a lot of, I feel like that is kind of beneath the surface of what's going on here. And I think you do have the sense that there is something that is going to be coming to an end. And there may be some fear around that too. I mean, because whenever we're making a change and we're letting go of the old, maybe we're feeling, that there may be some worry about that. But I feel like it's, but again, and Taurians are not notorious for embracing change. But you had Uranus and Taurus now since at least 2018, I think. And I don't know how much longer that aspect is going to be in play. Uranus stays in a place for a long time. The outer planets only stay in a sign for a very long time. But that has turned your world upside down, probably in the last few years to some degree. This also just came into my head. Another interpretation of this house, which isn't used that often, you hear it more in Vedic astrology than you do in Western, and that is that this is the house of foreign travel, going abroad. This can literally mean somebody is going abroad, okay? And this is not just I'm going to take a vacation and go to, this is like I'm going to pick myself up and move to a foreign place. So that's true for somebody here, okay? So again, take it at resonates. If that doesn't apply to you, then that's just a very specific message for somebody. But that literally jumped in my head. No, world, traveling, getting outside your boundaries, water, moving across water. Like somebody's also moving abroad. So again, probably the more general thing about contemplating change and flowing with change is probably the more general meaning, but that is a meaning for somebody. Overall, we have Osiris with the devil. Okay. So overall, you do have a stable situation, okay? This indicates that you have strong leadership qualities, that you know what you're doing, you know, all of this fire energy. This is also fire. This is actually Sagittarius energy. This makes you very outgoing. This gives you strong leadership qualities. So you can completely rely on yourself. Like this self-doubt that you have over here in the first house, you can, and the devil is probably connected to that, because the devil, I feel like, has two meanings here. One is that you are, that you may be, you are, in other words, maybe saying you're in a perfectly stable situation, but you're clinging to these past patterns and beliefs that you need to let go of. And they seem to be around a job or around something. Maybe they're even around health. Who knows? But I feel like you have these worries potentially about money, and maybe worries even about a relationship. And it's saying, look, there's actually nothing wrong here. It's your limiting beliefs over here. Time to detach yourself from these things. But devil can also indicate, especially if you've been working very hard at something, it's definitely about sensual pleasures and enjoying, the earth, you know what I mean? So enjoying the pleasures of life. So I think it's saying that in all of your hard work, don't forget to enjoy the pleasures of life. Okay, so we're going to try this new Between the Worlds Oracle, and I'm going to flip a card for you. What does Taurus need to know May 7th through 20th, 2024? What does Taurus need to know? And I'm going to read this from the book because, again, this is brandy new deck for me. And, oh, that's interesting. Okay. Okay, we got another Valley card. I got a Valley card for Aries. We have the Valley of Detachment card. These are all birds, by the way, in this particular deck. So let's look up the Valley of Detachment. Here it is. The journey through the Valley of Detachment is not always a comfortable one. It demands an excavation of your anxieties around that which you cannot control. Over here. More than a routine spring cleaning, it suggests not that you possess anything, but that nothing possesses you, the devil. And I don't mean like literal like devil possession. I mean just when we are too attached to certain things, that's when they possess us, right? This detangling is a long-term project rooted in love, honesty, and accepting the truth that everything changes. The card may refer to a physical move, a retreat, or sometimes a breakup. It may also refer to open spaces like night skies, deserts, or oceans where there is fullness in the emptiness. Okay, so being that I'm seeing new love here, I don't necessarily think that there's going to be a breakup for anybody here, but there does seem to be, because I'm seeing peaceful continuity, just maybe people setting up some boundaries, but peaceful continuity. But definitely the possibility of moving abroad, looking at open possibilities, and being open to change, which is not particularly been a Taurian trait I think, on the whole, because Taurians are fixed. They like stability. But you've got all of this ace energy. I mean, yeah, I think the only thing stopping you, Taurus, potentially is you. So definitely be reassured that you are on the right path, and the kind of work that you need to do. This Valley of Detachment is pointing out that some of these things you are worried about are kind of, I don't want to use the term hardwired because I don't really like it, but it's something that you just can't say a bunch of affirmations and get rid of. It doesn't work like that. It's a long time of, like they say, detangling and getting yourself out of a way of thinking. But I feel like you are well on your way. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this reading was enlightening. If it was, or if you just enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment if you choose, and subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss videos. Have a great rest of your month, a great May, and I will see you in the next video.